Sorry, my messages popped up on my computer and I don't really want that to happen. It may happen again and I'll clip the video if necessary. So back to number 2, Turnitin.com and the book that we're going to be using for this class. So I've provided the necessary information for logging in to Turnitin.com and linking your personal account to the class account. In Turnitin.com, you will submit your work. Unless otherwise indicated, we will have chats on Catalyst, but I prefer submissions for work to be done on Turnitin.com, particularly because it allows you to take pictures if you're doing it in a notebook for certain class exercises, or use a Word document or Google Doc or other types of documents. So to me, it gives the user more options. If you're a notebook, handwriting type of person, you can, for most exercises, take pictures and submit them. I will ask that you make sure that the pictures are clear so that I can see them. Also, you should know that even though I have Turnitin.com set to accept multiple files, it will not. So if you do it on a paper and you take pictures, you will most likely need to find a way to stitch the images together so that they will be one picture instead of multiple files. But that's something that you can post if you have issues with it down here in the class chat, which I'll get to in just a second. So your first assignment will be, as you see in number 3, something called a Fierce Green Fire. I'm going to go ahead and create the folder right now for that work, just so you can see what it looks like, if Turnitin will let me in. I'm going to call it Week 1, a Fierce Green Fire. I'm just going to put 10 points for now. That's not the amount of points that we'll actually end up with, but it's a good marker for me to hold. I'm going to say today's start date, due date by next week. Your grade in Turnitin will be posted, if I have them graded, on July 5th. Turnitin.com will allow you to see your grades throughout time. So right when I grade things, you can have access to your points, and I find it a lot easier than using what's available in Catalyst. So if you have any questions, post them in the chat area that I'm going to show you in just a bit. The next thing that is important for you to know is the textbook. The textbook we're using is Paul Fleischman's Eyes Wide Open, and it is available, see what happens, on Amazon.com. I think it's about $10. Ooh, right here, $7.80. Now, it's also available digitally. You can try the Kindle. However, I tried to purchase it on Kindle and it did not work, which was very odd. It's the first book on Kindle that didn't work for me. I've had students since say that it did work for them, so I'm just giving you a heads up. There might be problems with that. I personally have a digital copy on iBook. I also have hard copies from class. If anybody has difficulty getting a book and needs assistance, then please send me a personal email and I will work with you to get it done. Oh, it looks like it's even available on Audible as well as MP3. I don't have a problem with students using Audible or reading type applications to assist with getting the information that you need. My teaching style is really around various types of learning, and I know that some people work better with visual and some people work better with audio. So you choose what works best for you and what is necessary for you to be able to complete the assignments and get through the course and basically understand the content. Okay, so right now what we have is creating an account in Turnitin.com and linking it to the class, and ordering Eyes Wide Open. I believe on your green sheet there is another textbook, which is Withgott and Brennan, Environmental Science Behind the Stories. Now, this is an expensive textbook that I am not requiring you to buy. There are less expensive versions if you would like to get a hard copy text, not this one. This one would be acceptable, but see how much it is. And there are older versions. Let me see if I can see it. If there's more from these authors. Let's see. There's so many. This one would be acceptable. Still very high priced. This one, I believe, is less. You can buy it used for about $20. However, I am really going to try to use as many free resources as possible, and I believe I can find an open source text that will provide us with the same information. So I would hold off on even buying an older copy, a used copy of this textbook. You aren't going to necessarily need it, and I am not the kind of instructor that's going to ask you to pay $170 for a textbook. I would rather you use that money for other resources. So the things that you need to take care of first are the Eyes Wide Open book, which is less than $10, and creating your free Turnitin.com account and linking it to the class, okay? Now, with that said, the first assignment I am going to ask you to pay $5 to rent the movie A Fierce Green Fire. I thought I had it linked on here. So A Fierce Green Fire is a movie that used to be on Netflix and is no longer, but can be rented on Amazon.com for $5, I believe. Mine, I already have it in my Amazon video, so it doesn't really tell me how much it is. I did look, and it was about $5 to rent. I believe you can probably find it online in a free capacity, but the quality won't be as good, and it may or may not have closed captions, which is something that on my end I need to offer, okay? So your assignment this week will be to watch A Fierce Green Fire, and even though it's a movie and it's about 2 hours long, as you can see here, I've allocated about 5 hours for you to spend on this assignment. Each week, according to my calculations, you're going to need to spend about 8 hours plus working on the class material. So for this week, I'm incorporating this video, some time for your Turnitin.com and your book, and the majority of it is going to be towards this assignment, and there's one other thing I have down below for you to contribute after you've completed this assignment. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be watching this video. This video is broken into acts, and each act covers a different topic with regards to the environment. I really like this movie because it gives a very good, comprehensive historical perspective to many of the different situations, and especially the players and the groups that have been involved to get us to where we are today. It's not very old. It's a couple years old, so it's got some up-to-date information, which is something that is very important in this field because we are constantly getting new information on the environment. So things become outdated very quickly. So watch the movie, read through this and what I'm asking in each of these before you do, so that you're prepared to kind of focus and have an idea of what it is I would like to receive from you. After you complete the 4 parts, you can go ahead and then submit your work. And this one I actually am going to require that it be a document that Turnitin can check for originality. What that means is it needs to be a Word document, or Apple has forgot what Apple's software is called, but you can use that too. Or you can use a Google Doc if you do your work in Google Doc. Turnitin will actually link to your Google account and upload it that way if necessary. Okay? So that's about 5 hours worth of work. The last component of the weekly work is going to be stuff that's ongoing. Each week I'm going to ask you in Catalyst to share an environmental news article that you find interesting. What this means is that you're going to have to find environmental news. The first time I'm not going to share with you where to look, but if I see that you're having problems finding environmental news, then I will give you some ideas in the forum as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to find a news article that you like, and then you're going to give us your thoughts, your opinions, your concerns, and share in the chat space. You will also be required to comment on 2 of your classmates' posts each week. So I guess the messaging didn't work. I didn't turn it off. It's okay. So you're going to look over, and obviously you're going to have to look at the end of the week, so that's fine because people are going to be posting probably midweek. Take a look at other people's articles. See if that's something that you saw somewhere else, or if it's something that's interesting to you. Give us your concern. Give us your reflection. What I'm trying to do is engage online conversation, but I want to remind you that even though we're not in a classroom and we're in a digital space, that it is important to remember to be respectful of one another. I like to consider my learning environments a safe space where we are welcoming differences in opinions. In fact, that is how we end up having resolutions to problems. So we need to learn how to be welcoming of criticism, and we also need to know how to critique in a positive and uplifting and effective way. So this is our space to practice that. I hope that I don't have to have any conversations with anybody about how to be cordial and appropriate in an online environment. However, if I have to, I will. So each week you'll be doing a current event, and the second chat area is a space for all of us to share conversations and questions. Sometimes I'll get questions from students and they think that it's just them that has that question, when in reality I'll get the same question from many different students. So if you have a question, post it in the class chat. If you find a Fierce Green Fire for free online, share that in the class chat so that your classmates can also find that as well if that's a choice that they would like to use. So this is where we'll be able to post things. If something doesn't look right on your end on Catalyst, then let me know here. That way I can respond to everybody at once. With that, it looks like the things that you have to do this week are Turnitin.com and figure out your book situation with the textbook Eyes Wide Open, and primarily work on your first assignment, A Fierce Green Fire, the 5-hour commitment with the 4 parts, and find a current event and post your current event with your kind of summary and opinion, reflection, and then wait until classmates have posted theirs. As I mentioned in the email earlier, the Catalyst system is not completely up for this class, so the current event thing will probably be more towards the end of the week. Okay? With that, I think we're ready to go for the first week of ES1 Summer 2016. Have a great day.